In this video, I am doing a patio makeover. Here, I start with this Hampton Bay 4-piece deep seating set, or as they normally call it, a conversation set. This set comes from Home Depot. I bought it a few years ago, and I believe the price was $2.99. It was one of those items that they had near in the front of the store, where they put, items in kind of the middle of the floor going towards the register. This set, I've had now for about 3 years, in the box. It was in my garage, and as you can see, I'm putting together the entire set, myself. I'm not going to say it was easy. It probably took me a total of, say, an hour and a half. One of the chairs is the first one I put together. Then the bench, another chair, and at the end of that, a table. If you're adventurous like me, you will be able to put this set together yourself. Of course, it's going to take more time, but if you have help, it would decrease the time period that it takes you to put together. It wasn't complicated. All the tools you need were provided, and as you can see, if you prop it appropriately, you can do all of it yourself. So here is the beginning of the patio refresh. This is what it looked like before I started to clean and decorate. I had that seating set for several years, and you see the seating set that I put together. I put that together in May, and it is now July when this part is being recorded. Holes everywhere. I had the barbecue pit and some heating lamps on the table. So this is the before. Notice the wires hanging. I hate that. I'm going to fix that in this reveal. So this is my attempt to fix the wires, and in order to do so, I needed to move the heaters out of the way, grab my step stool, and what I'm using is some wire brackets that I got from Lowe's. There were 2 nails to put in each bracket. The wire itself fit right in between it. This was a bit difficult because that first nail was really close to the house. So it took me a while to get a method to my madness. I want to say the bracket was probably, they were a 1/2 inch, and they cost about $2.49 for the package. But I hated the way the wires looked hanging. I went and got a smaller hammer to see if that would help, but it didn't help me have enough power to get those nails in. So at some point, I will start using the hammer to get the nail closest to the stucco in. And then once I'm done, as you can see, just pulling the wires up, anchoring them, gives the patio a more polished look. I just did not enjoy the look of the wires hanging. Kind of a thorn in my side, but I'm glad I was able to get it fixed. This took a while. It was really hot the day I was out trying to get a lot of this done. So I enjoyed the look after I secured the wires. It was a more polished, clean look. In this portion, I had rinsed off the patio and was sweeping off some water because not every area of the patio was even and I didn't want water sitting. Now you see me trying to wrap the hose neatly. I usually wrap it, but it's not necessarily neat, and I wanted it neat and out of the way. Gives it a better polished look when it's wrapped neatly. Here you see me pull the barbecue pit out of the way and taking care of some planters. Rinsing down the windows, cleaning the walls. The goal is to have everything fresh, any cobwebs, any, dirt, just trying to get it cleaned up for a really fresh space. Usually with the windows, I'll spray vinegar and water, or on this go round, I had a bucket of water with really just some Dawn soap in it, and I wanted the screens clean, so I used the soap and a towel and put that on the windows and the screens and used a squeegee to get them as clean as I could, and then used a microfiber cloth. And as I said, trying to get the space as clean as I can. You see me here cleaning the fans that are outside, and I had a bucket of soapy water and was wiping the dust off the top of the blades and all over the blade, just trying to make sure it's clean because I will need those fans for the summer. It gets really hot where I am, and it is hot until like mid-October, and so just want it to clean so that when I use them, dust won't be flying. These fans were really, really dirty. The water was dirty. It's been a while since they've been cleaned, so I would suggest if you have fans, you clean them. Be careful with the water. On mine, even before the water, the coating on the blades is starting to peel on this particular fan, and so I'm going to have some blades I'm going to have to replace. I may try some glue to get them to stick. I am now moving the table out of the way. And as you can see, I was able to move everything myself. That is a rug, and the rug I'm going to use to so you see me here unwrapping the rug and just unwrapping the rug. It took me a second, but the rugs are from a store called At Home, and it is called an Oasis Diamond Area Rug. The one there is an 8x10, and the one that will go over or under the conversation set is a 5x7. So now putting the tables back together, and I will bring all the chairs back in, a total of 6 chairs. Cleaning the table, the glass on the table, and at this point I am bringing in the 5x7 rug for the conversation area. I have now moved the furniture to the appropriate area, and I am bringing in some of the pieces. Here you see me bringing in plants. Finally, we are to the patio reveal. I have used the table that came with the conversation set to set some decorative items on. I went very simplistic with this. I didn't want a lot of clutter. Decorations came from either At Home, Burlington, few things I've already had. I used the table from the conversation set to set decor on behind the dining table. Again, the rugs came from At Home. The seating set came from Home Depot several years ago. Decor items, either Burlington or Lowe's. As I said, I have a fire pit table, and the pillows I picked up at Lowe's. I'm satisfied with the way this came out. For me, it feels cozy and inviting. I wanted the space to be inviting. With the fire pit table, once it turns cold, it's already in place to use to keep the space warm, but it can also be used as a coffee table. And those side tables over there came from Homegoods. They were a decent price. I love them in the space. And so you don't need a lot to put together a space that feels cozy and at home for you. Everything I bought was reasonable, and I like my new space. Thanks for watching.